Some people may not know that there are different levels of flatness on drywall. Normally they'll tape it, do a skim coat over the nail holes in the tape, maybe 2 skim coats, and then they'll texture. That's at a level 3 before they do like the Santa Fe or the skip trowel texture. But to take it from a level 3 to a level 5, which is completely smooth, you have to do a lot more skim coats, a lot of sanding. Or with this one, I'm taking it from an orange peel to a level 5. And what I've done is knocked down all of the points already. It's fairly smooth. Excuse my dog. And then I'm going to shoot a heavy-bodied PVA primer. It's supplied by the local Benjamin Moore dealer. It's called Acrylatex Quick Prep Plus. It's a very, very thick material. You can put it on really heavy, and it actually will, for the most part, self-level over what's remaining as far as texture. A little bit of sanding after that, and this wall will be like smooth like glass. Only deformities will be in where the framing is not completely straight. Other than that, it should be smooth like glass when we get done. Okay, I'm going to attempt to film and spray at the same time. As you can see, I have masked off around my edges and covered the floor. That's about all I need really when I spray, but we're going to go for first coat. I'll tell you what the build. I'll tell you what the build on it can be. I think it's up to 15 mils, which literally is like normal paint is about 300, 400 square feet per gallon. This stuff would be about 100 square feet per gallon, so you're putting it on 4 times heavier. So I just go to where I feel comfortable, honestly. Okay, before the overspray becomes too much of a fog, I just want to show you. You have to kind of see the light bouncing off of it to see how heavy it is. So it's really softened out that texture quite a bit already. And I'll be doing another coat probably tomorrow. So this is the primer. It's a high build PVA primer, Acrylatex Quick Prep Plus. It actually has all of your information on the back of it. Application, and then coverage. This is what I was saying. You can use it as just a regular primer. Yeah, 250 to 300 square feet per gallon, yielding 5 to 6 wet mils. To achieve level 5 finish, apply it at 100 to 150 square feet per gallon. I put feet per gallon. 6 to 10 wet mils, so double the thickness that you would normally put on primer. So we're days after when I first started this. I did 2 heavy coats of the primer, and you can tell where I've sanded, and I just used an orbital sander with some 60 grit to get it flat, and then jumped to a finer grit. But I sprayed this with a gray just a rattle can or spray paint primer, just to show me where the low spots are and high spots are when I've got it sanded down far enough. It's a trick used in auto body But without this black primer, you'd have to have a good light or be really close to it. It's very hard to pick up if you've got it down far enough. So, I mean, you can tell where the tape line is, top and bottom, for the sheetrock seam. You can tell these high spots where I sanded down clear to the old paint and then some. But a little bit more sanding, and then I go over top of it with a block sander and make sure it's all leveled out, because once you knock down the texture, it'll be a little bit wavy, but then I hit it with a block sander and it flattens everything off. But for what it is, just using a primer to get this completely level, it's, I don't know, I like it. I'm impressed.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're in Lincoln's room still. There is a video linked in the description box below on how we prepped this wall so that we could do board and batten on it. And today's video is going to show you how we are going to do the herringbone board and batten. So Aaron's here with me. He's the guy behind the saw doing it. So why don't we have him explain to you how he's doing it.
So first off, I measured the entire width of the wall and divided it by 4 to get 4 quadrants, which we have three verticals in the middle. It can be 3, 4, 5, depending on how wide you want the panels, or how wide or how tall you want the room to seam. If you want it to seem taller, I used a 31.5 degree angle instead of a 45 to give it more of a subtle, less chevron pattern, more of a herringbone. But first off, all I did was got my measurements, divided this in 4 quadrants, and made sure that the measurements in between each of the verticals is the same. Herringbone is a symmetrical pattern, so each one of these should be a mirror of the one before it. But I'm showing it on a wider board. I ended up cutting it's a 31.5 degree angle. So I cut that first angle, put it against one of my verticals, and I marked where it intersected with this board here. So ignore this part. But that's where it intersects, and that's where I wanted to make the next cut. Once my saw is set at that angle, it will automatically make that cut parallel to that one. And then test fit it. Make sure. And you can see how those both flush up and are parallel on each side. So as you can see, there's different marks on the saw and different places they'll stop at 0, 22.5, and this is the 31.5 degree mark, which is the one I'm using. So once I made my first cut, and then I got my second measurement and cut it, what I did is I raised the fence to where my board hits it. So now I can take the whole stick and see this angle is the same as the other one, and I can sit here and cut every piece. Take this out, slide the whole stick over, cut it. Slide the stick, cut it. And if your measurements are equal between the verticals, you can cut every single one like this. The first one would be laid out cutting it like this. The next one, you'd flip the board over, so you don't even have to move your saw. And that gets you the exact same measurement, 60-80 boards, as long as your fence is set tight. So I've already cut all my boards, so I can actually show you that they'll just go up and down. And what I will do is, I mean, you can change the distance between the two. We're doing about 12 inches in between. And so I will measure from this point up and make a 12-inch mark, and that's where I will start my next one. And don't worry if you don't like this being on the top. flip it over, that'll be on bottom. But these are all ripped to a specific width that we wanted. Same thing with these. And all of this is 1/2 inch. So as you see, I measured on this side, didn't measure on that side because it should be parallel, but I used what's called a speed square, and I put it right up underneath this one. I'd make a mark, and that's where the point for this side would go. And then I did the same thing here, and essentially I did the same thing over here without a line. But I measured over here mainly just to double check. I meticulous that way. So, but other than that, measuring one side using a speed square and doing the entire wall.
Okay, here is the wall all painted. You have to come back and check out the room reveal once I get it all done, because this is all I've got done. But I wanted to show you how the wall looks. It looked so good. He did such a good job. If you're curious, we did use Essex Green from Benjamin Moore. You're not getting the true color on camera, but if you head over to my Instagram, there is a photo over there that is the true color. It's just a really dark, deep green. It's beautiful.